sitting here laughing?
What? So did I figure?
No, I'm just sitting there. We got a little milk crate, bucket, bong. Sit in the alleyway by a shop.
Being grateful.
Homeless.
Aren't we all?
And not giving a fuck, because that's how we started and we still the same. Just shit paid for. Running around and shit. Everything that we needed is on the trailer, dude. Just some tools that we bought to try to get from being in tarps in the tent. But you know, we got a sleeping bag and some shit. Some gas to cut down whatever don't get burnt the fuck down. And if it don't get burnt up, we grabbed all the gas and everything so it wouldn't get burnt, but we got the tools. You know. Otherwise the crystals, they's already in the shop. So oh shit. But the next time around, they ain't gonna be in the shop. They gonna be up there in the fucking ground or something, somehow. Something. But yeah, it's just hilarious just sitting here thinking. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. It's just the shit getting burned up, we gone. I feel bad because hopefully they don't get burnt. I got used to talking to them trees, man. That's what it took me so long getting the solar panels and all that stuff. Like, come on, guys. Y'all got it beautiful right here. Like, just make it through this so I can, unfortunately, cut a whole bunch of you down in a sense to save that little patch so that it don't get burnt up. But turn it into food and shit. And green area. Dude, that shit's a monster up there. You see that? Them motherfucking amber chips, y'all. It's like when I was getting the solar panels.
I know. When you went down to the garden, I got
like,
some like this.
I was like, hold on a minute. How'd this shit not catch on fire over here? I'm being serious, man. You unroll the solar.
It was hot too. I picked it up.
You unroll the solar panels, dude. And there was like chips like fall out to fucking catch your house on fire and shit if they fall out your fireplace. And I was like, damn. This shit's in a pile of dry ass leaves right here all in this valley where I cut all them trees. And I'm like, dude, how the fuck is this not on fire over here? Thank you, Lord, it's not, but wow. That little fucking weird dirt devil gin shit, fucking leathers, that shit was all charcoal, dude. Fucking falling down there. That's 50-mile fucking drop. Corpse down to here, or Quincy to here. Shit, Quincy to here is 60 miles. And the house here is 37 and a half, so that shit's just up above us in Clipper Mills. And yeah, that shit had me like, what? What's going on with this morning? Oh shit. What do you do, man? That's what had us stumped on how to build the last couple of years and figuring out different plasma techs. I'm gonna integrate. This is the backhoe makes it through, dude. We ticking in. I'm enlarging my HHO system and fucking making heat plates and showing the world how to do it. Showing the world how to do it. Fuck the dumb shit. Show you motherfuckers how to make the mix that I mix. Where you can take sand and make the shit so hot. Motherfucking shit melts into motherfucking glass. Maybe that's what I was doing right there. It's all dirt and shit. What's dirt? Melted in the motherfucking glass. That's what all these pieces is. What's dirt? Make plates and heat shielding. Fire can't melt that. Shit. Fuck around no more. This shit crazy. Motherfuckers trying to fuck around and sink my battleship. No. Oh, hold on a second. Let me have some of that.
Bomb. It got in like this when we went to
I know.
Orlando.
It's perfect. I was going to throw it in the freezer. With the tapioca pudding and the blueberries. What you thinking? Make a smoothie?
Yeah, that's good.
Alright. You sure? Okay. And tapioca pudding right there. Throw that in the, oh shit, in the big freezer. Throw that in the big freezer, Bill. Fuck around and sink their battleship. Understood the nomadic life of a Suvi. Get this list for Akira. It's basic, super basic, kids.
In my hair.
Huh? Stop tweeting in your hair.
Ashes in my hair.
Yeah, babe, you got ashes in your hair.
I know, I had a logo.
Yeah. Mine is about 20 tarps. No, not 20 tarps, but 9 tarps. No. 9 tarps and carport tarps. That's the only thing, some wood that's getting burned up. But the truth-free trailers we got, man, weather. There's a little red casita, man. I hope that thing makes it. I like that little thing. I was really hoping to build her a little fucking office and shit for Essie, so.
Yeah. It saves your back.
Saves your back. You think I didn't like it? I'm just saying for you because you got joy from me. I wanted to build a little thing. Like I was pointing out to you when we were driving. That house setup that was like that docking station for a fucking trailer. I'm gonna do something like that for you, but we'll see. Gotta get that shit back together. You didn't sleep in it. You just slept on a tarp on the ground. Simplicity. Simplicity. Hey, the only difference now though is the person we getting the internet from, their internet sucks. I said the only fucking issue now is instead of sitting in Starbucks parking lot and using their Wi-Fi, we're using these sorry son of bitches business internet and it's slow as fuck. Ours. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm like, dude, what data program line did they have for Starbucks? And that shit. This shit's slow as hell. There you go. Today's Tuesday, so they done had their little quiche fucking meeting and shit today. Scalar neighboring trumpets. Wish that I get fucking Jamie crawl over fucking him. That mechanism being used right now. Pave pause on. They smacking them and we smacking them and we smacking us and they smacking us. There's a whole fucking fuckery about kids.
Finding the next job
Scalarized weather.
And that part of what you do is a little tough right now. Because of that, Lowe's for Pros is here to help.
It was like right on the video, man. And now it's not. And now I ain't got no motherfucking web page available, huh? Come on. Any question mark at the internet thing, dude? Wi-Fi? What's wrong with the internet, yo? We paid the bill, right?
Yeah. Yesterday.
It just says no internet. Slow, harder than molasses, and winter rolling down. What the fuck is this shit doing? Come on, dude. This was sad is when we were like almost without the shop, like the internet actually worked.
I know. Look, they got this hunting app that it can GPS. It's offline, but it can create a map of ourselves while we're driving around the property, and we map it out like that. Let's see if it works.
What's wrong with the internet, man? That's crazy, yo. Block the fucking phone. Let me shoot some shit, yo. You got the other fucking camera mine fucked off. You fuck this one off too? This shit's ridiculous, dude. Why is this stupid shit keep doing this to me? I know you done took out my other fucking thing, dude. It's fucking retarded. I'm not using that one. I'm using that one. these people from putting my plasma videos and other things up like that. My account that I've had since high school. Another fucking account. They just fucked them off where I can't use them motherfuckers, man. It's just annoying. We're putting truth out there, showing cold energy, low nuclear fusions, true plasma tech, true winner. This fucking shit.
You want me to download it here? Shining focus.
I'm recording. I'd like to record it and see what they're doing.
Live-action Mulan is facing.
This takes the long ass fucking time typing stuff without trying to do stupid shit the first time. It's annoying. See how they can block my shit? I didn't ever posted nothing and told nobody to drink no bullshit, no Drano, none of that shit. Warn motherfuckers. Been warning people and telling them. Just keep fucking blocking and fucking with my shit when I ain't even doing nothing to fuck people.
Facing global backlash, its star publicly supported Hong Kong police during pro-democracy protests, and its producer thanked the Public Security Bureau of Xinjiang region, where millions of Uyghurs are being held in camps. The Chinese regime held a ceremony to honor its medical staff for fighting the pandemic, but Chinese netizens noticed one person's name was missing from the awards list. A Chinese military scientist claims her vaccine
BP-882. It's the only thing that can kill all OC43 and its mutations in its genetic lineage.
can handle all virus mutations, but one expert is casting doubt. In Google Maps Street View, some pro-democracy graffiti in Hong Kong is found to be blurred. And Beijing said Hong Kong never had separation of powers. Its autonomy was granted by Beijing. And amid tense relations between Australia and China, 2 Australian correspondents were rushed out of China Monday night. One of them said it's a relief to be back in a country with genuine rule of law. Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. Walt Disney's new live-action adaptation of Mulan has become the subject of global backlash. That's over its star's support of Hong Kong police and for being partly filmed in the country's Xinjiang region. The area is home to the Uyghur Muslim ethnic group, currently subject to human rights abuses. Hong Kong activist Joshua Wong has encouraged a global boycott.
Now it's time for people to, through the boycott action, to let Disney to know that kowtow to China should not be the way out, and for celebrities or any actors that endorse the police brutality, the world will give response and backfire to it.
The live-action remake of Mulan on Disney's streaming platform and in cinemas has been launched this month. It triggered the use of hashtags Boycott Mulan and Ban Mulan on Twitter, promoted by activists not only in Hong Kong, but also in Taiwan and Thailand. The hashtags first emerged last year after Mulan star Chinese actress Liu Yifei expressed support on social media for the police in Hong Kong, which were suppressing Hong Kong's pro-democratic movements with brutality. But the movie's links to the western region of Xinjiang, where China's clampdown on ethnic Uyghurs has drawn widespread condemnation and has also come in for criticism. Since 2016, millions of Uyghurs have been detained in at least 500 prison camps across Xinjiang, also called re-education centers by Beijing. Several state-run organizations in Xinjiang appeared in the film's credits. One of those is the Chinese Communist Party's Propaganda Commission, the same organization that produced disinformation in attempts to justify and validate the detention camps. Another is a local branch of the Xinjiang Public Security Bureau, which has been deeply involved in the Xinjiang concentration camps, and in July became subject to U.S. government sanctions as a result to that involvement. Some local residents in Hong Kong said they had been following the controversy and supported the boycott.
The character Liu played is that of a righteous person, but she said she supports police brutality. The police brutality in Hong Kong, what the police have done, is completely without justice, so she's so different from the actual Mulan. She's the opposite of Mulan.
Liu expressed support for the police during pro-democracy protests, saying on a social media account last year, "I support the Hong Kong police. You can all hit me. What a shame for Hong Kong." China's Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian repeated Beijing's denial of the existence of re-education camps in Xinjiang, calling facilities there vocational and educational institutions, and accusing anti-China forces of smearing its Xinjiang policy. The movie reportedly cost $200 million to produce and was scheduled to reach theaters in March, but its release was delayed by the CCP virus pandemic. Last month, Disney said Mulan would skip most theaters and go directly to its Disney Plus platform. The movie is set to release in China this Friday and in Hong Kong next week.
Now we turn to Hong Kong. Google Maps Street View has blurred some pro-democracy graffiti in Hong Kong. That's according to local news outlet Hong Kong Free Press. The report said Google Maps blurred 2 areas of graffiti. One of them included the message, "Xi Jinping must die for the sake of the world," while another said, "Liberate Hong Kong, the revolution of our time." Another slogan, "Fight for freedom," was also blurred, though the slogans are visible if seen from a distance. In an emailed response, Google told Hong Kong Free Press that their automatic blurring technology aims to blur faces and license plates so they can't be identified. But it looks like we didn't get it right in this instance. And as for Hong Kong-China relations, the Chinese regime said on Monday that separation of powers never existed in Hong Kong, and that the city's autonomy was granted by Beijing. The move is in support of Hong Kong leader Carrie Lam, who has made similar remarks in line with Beijing's view. Lam's view stands in contrast to Hong Kong's legal community. The Hong Kong Bar Association issued a statement saying it's concerned with Lam's comments and that the city's mini-constitution has defined the separation of powers clearly. Lam's remarks also drew backlash from pro-democracy activists. They say it proves Beijing is tightening its grip on the city. This August, Hong Kong authorities asked publishers to remove references to the separation of powers from textbooks. Later, Hong Kong's education chief said the separation of powers never existed in Hong Kong, and that's why it should be removed from the textbooks. The U.S. will move to block imports of cotton and tomato products from China's Xinjiang region over allegations they are produced with forced labor. The actions hit two of China's major commodity exports. U.S. Customs and Border Protection is expected to announce 5 other import bans of products related to Xinjiang forced labor. U.S. law requires the agency to detain shipments when there is an allegation of forced labor. The Trump administration is increasing pressure on the Chinese regime over its treatment of Xinjiang's Uyghur ethnic minorities. The United Nations says it has credible reports that 1 million Uyghurs have been detained in camps. The Chinese Communist regime says the camps are vocational training centers. China will impose sanctions on senior U.S. officials who visit Taiwan and American companies that they have ties with. This, according to the editor-in-chief of the Global Times on Tuesday. Hu Xijing said on his official Twitter account that those being sanctioned would never be allowed to enter mainland China and that any U.S. companies they have ties with would lose access to the Chinese mainland market. The Global Times is published by the People's Daily, the official newspaper of China's ruling Communist Party. In August, China sanctioned 11 Americans over U.S. moves against the new security law China imposed on Hong Kong. These 11 included several U.S. senators, such as Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. Most of them had been targeted by Beijing before. China's foreign ministry didn't offer details about the sanctions. This move was considered largely to be symbolic. The Chinese regime held a ceremony to honor its medical staff for fighting the pandemic, but Chinese netizens noticed one person's name was missing from the awards list. That's as a Chinese military scientist claims her vaccine can handle all virus mutations, but one expert is casting doubt.
The Chinese regime held a ceremony on Tuesday honoring medical experts who contributed to controlling the virus. Communist leader Xi Jinping claimed the virus control proved what he called the incomparably strong leadership of the Communist Party. But Chinese netizens noticed one name is missing among the honored. That's Dr. Li Wenliang, the whistleblower from Wuhan, who tried to alert the public to the infectious virus as early as December. He was summoned by Chinese police for what they deemed spreading rumors online and later died from the virus. Li's Weibo account has since become China's virtual wailing wall or memorial wall with over 1 million comments. One comment questioned, why isn't there a badge of honor for him? Some said, in my heart, I don't care about those being honored. Those people can never compare to you. Another wrote, I'm so sad. That badge doesn't deserve you. You will always live in our hearts. Yet another commented, the police letter of reprimand is a real badge of honor. There are also some who questioned the lack of authority's reflection. One of them wrote, who arrested Li Wenliang and forced him to sign a letter of reprimand? Who prohibited the news from being published? When they honor people, I think we also need a ceremony for reflection. Every time there's a major disaster, we always hold a ceremony of honor, but never reflection. Aren't there man-made factors in this disaster? One person who was honored by Xi is Chinese military scientist Chen Wei. The People's Liberation Army general has told state media that the vaccine she's developing can fight all mutations of the virus. She also claimed her team can quickly produce vaccines to cope with the virus's future mutations, calling it as easy as developing software patches and updates. But some think the statement is too far-fetched.
So it probably can work most of the time for different mutations, but you cannot guarantee that it will work for all mutations. So I think that's definitely an exaggerated statement.
Former biologist with the U.S. Army Sean Lin said even for the influenza vaccines, every year the CDC has to screen so many different strains to choose an ideal seed strain for the next season's vaccine.
The process of selecting a seed strain is quite challenging, and also the vaccine companies need to remake all these vaccine products. So it's not as simple like a software upgrade.
Let alone for the CCP virus, a new and quickly mutating virus that scientists still don't fully understand. Lin said China has lost global standing amid the pandemic. That's due to its cover-up of the virus and later its reported buying up and hoarding of donated masks and medical gear, which were later sold for profit. Now, he suggests the regime may again try to win back its international reputation, this time with vaccines.
And China is also very aggressive, trying to make it a political advantage to have a vaccine first. So they have tried to skip many other steps and accelerate the process in the vaccine research, vaccine production.
Besides, China has a history of producing faulty vaccines.
Because the large scales of vaccine productions really demands very high technology in the purities of these vaccine products. Many of the adjuvants, many of these stabilizing agents that can cause also additional side effects. So that's why large-scale vaccine production is a huge challenge for China. The whole world needs to be very cautious. Whoever produced the vaccine first does not mean who produced the best vaccine.
He suggested people wait for more vaccine companies' results from different phase 3 clinical trials, then evaluate and cross-compare the different products. The Chinese military general said her team is preparing for mass vaccination at a low price as soon as phase 3 clinical trial results are released. Penny Zhou, NTD News.
Nearly 200,000 Chinese social media accounts have been closed in August. It's part of the regime's internet censorship of what it calls negative information. Chinese Communist Party's or CCP Cyberspace Administration recently held a meeting. It was reportedly held to, according to the regime, bring order into the internet. Among the campaign's targets are commercial network platforms, self-made media, social media, and live webcasts. In practice, that means any user deemed problematic will be suspended from producing content or have their accounts completely shut down. So far, about 6 million accounts have been investigated. Around 180,000 live broadcast platforms and news anchor accounts were closed, all within a month. A person attending the Cyberspace Administration meeting anonymously revealed that it will soon be even more difficult for China's self-made media to survive. That's because, according to regulations, outlets will now be prohibited from reprinting news that was already officially published by state media. Likewise, reporting on negative incidents is also not allowed. Put simply, independent media outlets won't be able to report on anything that could tarnish the CCP's reputation. Zhou Shuguang, a former Chinese citizen reporter and network engineer, says the CCP's goal is to suppress those with public influence.
Because every influential person can unite a group of people, the CCP takes it as a potential threat to the Communist Party that implements a one-party dictatorship. That is why it carries out such suppression.
Reporting by Chen Han, Li Yun, NTD News. 2 weeks ago, Chinese Communist Party head Xi Jinping assembled a group of 9 economists and political scientists. They were brought together to discuss Beijing's development strategy for the next 5 years. A week later, Zhen Yongnian, one of the scientists attending the meeting, was revealed to have been investigated by the National University of Singapore over sexual harassment allegations. Zhen was director of the university's East Asian Institute. The university said he since resigned and will depart later this month when his contract expires. It's unknown whether his leave was paid. Several university staff members posted harassment claims against Zhen on social media last month. In a Twitter post, a current employee of the East Asian Institute said she'd been sexually harassed by Zhen in May 2018 and filed a police report 1 year later. She added that she was bullied by the university after lodging a complaint. Singapore police said they gave Jin a stern warning in April. A spokesman also said the university followed up with an internal investigation into the case. Now we turn to a curious report coming out of Guangxi, an autonomous region in southern China. Local media reported over the weekend that a large number of dead fish appeared along a 2.5-mile stretch of beach. One local official explained that the dead fish began appearing a week ago. They appear to be mainly yellowtail, with a few other species mixed in. The situation is still under investigation, and it's unclear whether the phenomenon was caused by environmental pollution or other biological activities. Local authorities have reportedly collected dead fish and seawater samples for inspection. Some locals have described it as a rare sight. That's as the amount of dead fish is still increasing. Some of them also report seeing dead fish along the beach about a month ago, but on a smaller scale. 2 Australian foreign correspondents were rushed out of China for their safety with the help of Australian consular officials. Their employers said they had been questioned by China's Ministry of State Security.
Very disappointing.
2 top Australian foreign correspondents were rushed out of China Monday night after what's being described as an extraordinary diplomatic standoff. Australia's ABC broadcaster reported both journalists were separately questioned by Chinese authorities. ABC correspondent Bill Birtles as
giving them police escort to get the dozer through.
No, I see red lights.
That's the only shit I went before there, except for that Bronco thing.
No, it was like a car.
Yeah. Why do you need like so many sheriff cars to pull down the door? Oh, maybe. The goofball in me wants to go see. I'll be right back.
No, Ezekiel, come on, we gonna wait here. Come on, chill.
Why are you gonna say that though?
Just chill, man.
I'm chilling and waiting for the shit to charge up.
Okay. Tomatoes, cotton, what else? That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna be like, you're not gonna take our food. We're not gonna let you eat your food either.
as well as Michael Smith for the Australian Financial Review, had then sought shelter in Australia's embassy in Beijing and consulate in Shanghai. The ABC and AFR reported that diplomats had negotiated with Chinese officials to allow them to leave the country. Birtles and Smith arrived in Sydney on Tuesday morning, and Birtles spoke to reporters on arrival.
It's a relief to be back in a country with genuine rule of law, but yeah, this was a whirlwind, and it's not a particularly good experience.
AFR reported both journalists had been banned from leaving China until they answered questions about a woman called Chong Lei. Chong is also an Australian citizen, and she was detained in August. She worked at a Chinese state broadcaster as a television anchor.
The correspondents were told they were, quote, persons of interest in an investigation into Chong. Australia still does not know why Chinese authorities have detained her. ABC's Director of News, Gavin Morris, praised Birtle's reporting on China and said when it's safe they will have a correspondent back on the ground in China. This all follows relations that have turned sour between Australia and China this year. Beijing was angry after Australia called for an independent international investigation into the source of the coronavirus pandemic. China then blocked some of the beef it buys from Australia and launched investigations into imports of Australian wine.
India and China accuse each other of firing shots during a new confrontation on their border in the Western Himalayas. Tensions have simmered between the two nations since mid-June. The scuffle left 20 Indian soldiers dead. The Indian Army said in a statement, China's People's Liberation Army, or PLA, attempted to close in on the de facto border Monday night. China, meanwhile, says India breached the informal border. China's foreign ministry said Indian troops had illegally crossed the line of actual control and were the first to fire shots. India denies that and accused the Chinese troops of blatantly violating agreements and firing a few rounds in the air in order to intimidate the Indian side. And exiled Tibetans in a northern hill town of India held special prayers on Monday for the soul of a fallen member. The 53-year-old Tibetan had been part of an Indian Special Forces unit. He was killed in a mine blast last week near the site of a border flare-up with Chinese troops. Amid the world's tense political climate, it's not just Western countries who are standing up against the Chinese Communist Party. Some of the regime's allies are as well. Their attitudes toward Taiwan have now become an indicator of where their loyalties lie.
Pakistan has historically been a close ally to Beijing, but change may be on the horizon. A recent Twitter post from a Pakistan embassy official reveals that the country is looking to develop trade ties with Taiwan. An unusual meeting was held in Egypt last Wednesday. According to Ani News, Sidra Haq, trade and investment attaché at the Embassy of Pakistan in Cairo, met with Michael Ye, the director of the Taiwan Trade Center in Cairo, which serves as Egypt's de facto Taiwanese embassy. They reportedly discussed strengthening Pakistan-Taiwan trade relations. Sidra Haq later posted about the meeting on Twitter, which included a picture with Michael Ye. In her post, she described speaking about trade. She also wrote that it always feels good to connect with other trade wings and compare notes. But she later deleted the post, likely out of fear of Beijing's condemnation. Developing good relationship with Taiwan would mean crossing Beijing's authoritarian regime. The Chinese regime claims Taiwan as part of its territory under the One China policy, but Taiwan, under its own democratic system, fights the designation. Pakistan's choice to seek relations with Taiwan likely angers the CCP due to its formerly close ties to Pakistan. 5 years ago, Beijing signed an almost $50 billion contract with the country. It's the regime's large single overseas investment to date. Andrew Small, author of the China-Pakistan Axis, made it clear that the CCP uses Pakistan as a strategic counterweight to India. The economic support to the CCP offers to Pakistan would also facilitate China's regional competition with India. Current China-India relations are wrought with tension. Just last week, the Indian government announced a ban on another almost 120 Chinese-made mobile apps. With Pakistan showing possible signs it will distance itself from the regime, Beijing seems to be on the verge of losing yet another battle with its neighbors.
Now we turn to the financial sector in China. Our business reporter Paul Graney interviewed financial expert Joseph Trevasani.
Well, it's realistic in a sense that China is the second largest economy in the world, and there will be reasons and occasion to use Chinese-denominated debt. Who is doing it, and for what reasons, are open to interpretation. I don't really know who's doing it, and it was certainly not illustrated or anything or talked about in the Morgan Stanley piece. But from an overall point of view for the world economy, I'm very doubtful that a country that is an authoritarian country that essentially sets its own rules will be accepted by the world financial community and the world financial economy as a reliable place to deposit your wealth. I just don't see it. In the United States or in Europe, the national bonds, the standards, when you get your money in, get you out, there's completely liquid markets. Everyone knows how to operate. They know the impact of exchanges in the foreign exchange rate. It's been going on for a long time. None of that applies to China. So I have my serious doubts that it will do anything more than creep higher in very specific circumstances.
And how important is building up the yuan as more of a reserve currency? How important is that to the Chinese regime's aspirations for global dominance?
Honestly, I think it's probably more important as a political talking point than it is anything else. I mean, yes, the United States benefits, there's no doubt about it, from having the world's reserve currency. But for China to get in that position, they would have to actually have an open economy the way the United States does, and they do not. And I do not see that type of financial openness occurring underneath the authoritarian government in Beijing. It's just not something that goes with that way of doing government, of doing business.
Joseph, appreciate your insights as always. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And that's all for today's China in Focus. Thanks for watching and see you tomorrow.
Evacuation order. This spot down here, evacuation order 202 was yellow. Now it's down there. We're up here. On the top of Mount Hope. That was Woodleaf Youth Camp. Secondary to connect up. Still ain't showing nothing in Yuba County. For all that to be evacuated, that's Brownville Airport right there. Raggerby Hill. Port turning. Bangor. Road. Raggerby Hill. Bottom of this hill right here is where I grew up at. My daughter was conceived. Raggerby Hill. Shit. Raggerby, I grew up at. So Bangor. All that's crazy. But that shit get down there and in the rice fields, man, that shit gonna burn across the whole fucking valley. That shit can burn across the whole valley. This is orchards and stuff right there. There is one tree to fire over this side on the tabletop. That's crazy. The China fire, the China wall fire. Man. And I reached all the way over here. Now they're gonna have to get Dobbins people out there. Shit, I burned all the way around Buller's Bar. Burn up the fucking Tahoe, dude. That's all dense forest. That's insane. Wow. It's all gold mines and shit. They're burning up the whole spots. Just keep smacking them, dude. Burning us out. It's Quincy. That bear shit come over this way. Heck, that'll burn all the way to Tahoe for us. That shit'll get all the way this way. If the winds hit, that's insane. That's a 3 fucking hour drive. Is there a spot fire right there? That's the orchards and shit. I should have catch the orchards on fire, dude. This is all deep forest here. Damn. Burn through all this. So Ida. West Hill. That's crazy. Oh, this is all dry grass. On the Palermo and everything. That's crazy. He lives down below us. Challenge that hasn't been on evacuation order. Maria. Brothers Tony, they live right there in China.
just, yeah, the fire department stopped and challenged the...
That means it's burnt through our place. It's gonna burn through that. So I don't know how you leave with. Got two of them ready lines. Power inductive with the winch. Pull the backhoe out the way. Hopefully stuff, vehicles ain't burn up. I really need that backhoe, man. That brung us forward years, being able to use the backhoe. But electricity, power, we got all the propane. This is full of propane molten canisters so they wouldn't explode. Got the gas. Crazy. Hopefully we'll be able to get up there somehow and cut the trees down away from where we're at. There's gonna be no issues. Otherwise, I'll have to donate those vehicles that are burnt out that we got up there. And I have to move the shop. That time, get the stuff I was doing with the other things, get everything prepped. Clearing areas for the vehicles so they wouldn't burn up in the fire. That's what I was trying to do. Or the backhoe itself. The area that we just started developing. But good thanks for your life. Pray God everybody that we know make it out alright. How they're gonna recover though. See what they doing with the campfire people and everybody else. Motherfuckers come through and take the property from you after they burn you out. Hit you with having permits and this and that. Get you supposedly for squatting on your own property. Send some levies against you and take your shit. Trying to get everybody on that fucking bullshit ass building permit crap. That green zone shit. High speed rail train shit. Motherfucker's sick motherfuckers. I'm fucking shocked, like, the whole mountain should be on fire, dude, as big as them embers. fuck, dude?
Do you think they might have us evacuate in town?
We're getting ashes here. And the fucking shit at the property is like... I'm like, damn. This shit's falling.
Yeah.
But they showed on that map that you sent to me on this shit. It's the backside of Orville, dude. So like with this being evacuated, that completely encircles our property, because remember our stuff is right here. There's Mount Hope.
Yeah.
And here's Buller's Bar. All this in here is, you know, when we leave the property and we go to and see Woodleaf.
Yeah.
There ain't no way for them, say,
if they go to Champ from the port, there's no way for them to stop it.
if it gets over our crest and down in this area here, that's just, there's only that one fire brigade thing that's right over here. There's only those two roads in. They either have to send people in from Dobbins Way on Marysville Road and cut over that small rickety ass road where they're just now expanding that fire thing. Come out where Challenge School is. Otherwise there's no ways in there other than them little rinky roads that we took to go see the waterfall. That's all dense forest. There's the other peak that you see over here is like Immigrant Camp and shit. That's all I was saying. If you zoom out and you see where Bear Fire is at for evacuation, because this is what's fucking with us right here. The complex fire, which this isn't showing the Quincy stuff, but Quincy's on fire, and that burning over, that's just that far over. There's Tahoe National Forest, there's Portola. But I can easily reach Grass Valley and all that tonight with some crazy ass winds. So that's what I was tripping on, that smoke, because I asked you, I was like, what happened with that fire in Grass Valley? She's crazy. All that right there. They just burn up Paradise already. Burnt this up. If they got building evacuated, which is up here, that's crazy, man. They burning across the whole vein. They hitting all the old spots. This gets down in here. That's all olives. and just dry grass, and then the fucking rice orchards. That'd be crazy. That shit'd blow across. And you got the fires over in Clear Lake in Napa. That'd be crazy. The fire blow across this, blow across the valley.
At the fire department, or the house, and the guy that was there at the fire department, they heard a big explosion. I think the Forbes town is on fire. They saw flames and shit like that, and she's like, this guy lived here his whole life, and we just saw this big explosion, and this lady coming from Forbes Town Road that was bringing these cats and whatnot. She was just like literally running the fires. So, and Jeannie's just helping people like move their cars and evacuate and shit like that. That's all. Like, thank you for being at service. She's like, dude, like, I was worried about you guys. Did you get any ashes this morning? Because it's crazy here right now. I was like, no, we left so early that the sky was odd, but we didn't really go to experience.
It was just smoky in the videos that I didn't get to upload. I had the remnants of it in the morning because I recorded the...
Oh, and she said that the lady that was driving down just got an evacuation for Forest Town in her phone too.
Because I recorded the wings when I first woke up. I had a video that I started. I recorded the wings and everything that were last night, and in the evening before I went to sleep, and then this morning's wings when I last woke up, and then when we were driving out, I recorded the scenery in the valley because I was like, this is weird. It's so windy, but it's so smoky. I deleted it because I didn't have space, because I thought I left the fucking USB to make room for videos doing, trying to upload now. So I should have walked to the park under the lake to get this video to upload faster. Yeah.
She said they can see the flames from there.
It's all dense forest that hasn't been, nothing happened to it in nobody's memory. So now it's going to be in somebody's memory.
And now they put a lot of trailer houses all along there.
They're going to do us like they did Paradise.
Forbes Town wasn't in the books though.
October 1st. See how G responds and sees if you're alright. If she's gonna ask, see if you're alright. That shit got burnt up. I'm being serious. Because it's gonna make news. It's gonna make news. There's never been a fire like this, man. We got up there when we did it. That's why I wasn't trying to be an asshole to you. But asking you, look. We're going to have to rebuild. Have a good night, bro. Say have a good night.
Well, do you think we should have driven the van out? But the van is not permitted and all that. You don't have the garbage. We couldn't have taken any more.
The only thing that I was saying to you was we had the time to drive the vehicles to where the Woodley sign was. And just leave them there. Because it has this space. If a fire come around it, then fucking... maybe they get burnt, maybe they not, but at least they ain't in the trees. Like they were on the property. You said that you worried about vandalism. I didn't want to argue with you. I don't know who vandalized and shit, because you gotta get the fuck out of there. Everybody done got pushed out, so you don't understand. I know you heard the dude saying to the people out there and yelling at them because they realized there was people over there. But for some reason they didn't fuck with us, even though there was lights. That's why I turned the lights on. But I guess it was just people that was driving to go down the road or whatnot, but I don't know.
We know now not to count on that. To expect
Never
people
that.
to come and get us or something.
Never that. I'm just saying though.
Well, but Ezekiel, you don't get no alarms on your phone. If Jeannie wouldn't have gotten, if we wouldn't have been down here and Jeannie wouldn't have tell me that, they don't say shit on the radio, how would we have known? We would have been so smoked out that we would have gone for another drive, but I'm saying we were a day ahead on Sunday. This was like Sunday. Because Sunday we went out for the drive and the girls from Strawberry Valley were like, no, it's all the smoke coming up. Now all them girls were evacuated. The store evacuated.
That's all I was saying.
We were a day ahead yesterday.
Same
Monday.
It was fired. Where the fuck is the smoke from this smoke coming from? I know there's a fire coming towards us.
Yeah. You're good at it. You're a good raider. You on the mines. That little mines was so lucky.
I couldn't sleep last night. For the life of me, I couldn't sleep. Like, I made myself lay down, but I just was restless. That's why I guess I woke up like in a bubble, but I just couldn't sleep. But
like, how you restless? You were down at from 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
But my sleep, wherever I went to, the stuff that I was saying, that's what was odd. Because I was recording stuff. I'd wake up out of my sleep, and you'd wake me up, or the wind would wake me up, and I'd fucking record it. And listen and go, this is not right.
Who knows, with all that wind, that's when it did it. It blew like that, it jumped. It's all that wind that did it worse. 8,000 acres overnight.
You think that would be Forbstown store? Propane? Or the PG&E or something? Could have been a big transformer or something blown up with that substation. Herb City. What?
Somebody posted 38 minutes ago. Fire behind 2265. That's at the beginning. Well, that's where the below the market. That's like sister's house. The trailer house that we were looking at.
On the backside going down by the waterhole?
Yes. No, a little bit higher. $2265 Portsmouth. Just when Jeannie home and home. One says, yeah, fire behind. Current map evacuation here in both Lamping and Bald Rock are you hearing me? Holy fuck, Ezekiel. Are you here?
Huh?
Lumpkin, that's the fire department. And I'm looking up to 265, but this is like half an hour ago.
Go back there.
You think that this on Facebook did only fire in hospital? it's like, no, not even that far. Yeah, it's like right on the Forbes store. The fire.
So that's Old Forstown Road?
Let's see, he's not giving me the exact address of 2265. He's saying there's not an address, but people are saying that a person was there and blah blah blah. You know where Stringtown is?
No.
All below Lambton Road and Forbeston Road. Is Paradise gonna burn again? Map has changed. It's now an evacuation order to Bangalore County line. This guy has all the info. Oh, he's administrator. Miners Ranch Road. We would have not been able to even come down the hill, baby. We stay saying to spend the night, but then It's coming from every angle. It's coming from every way. Like if front like this.
You go to the left, the boys born.
Yeah.
And the Dobbins. Since you said that fire was out, that would be an evacuation route that you said that I would have tried to take. Go up and to the right and get the fucking highways 80 and highway 20 in Grass Valley. Since they're sending strike teams over, because they're gonna have to try to do a stand in Bullard's Bar region and so forth, and try to box it in the canyon in between Washington and Immigrant Gaps and Bassett, because if it gets within those valleys and the way the cinders and stuff are going, they can spread, go to Kings National Forest, down over in the Grass Valley, up into Truckee, for Petaluma, fucking smack all that.
So there's a live video here, like live footage for the fire.
Should burn down the Wyandotte, Palermo and all that, and
Oh,
hit all
that's
that,
so dry.
all that fucking winds like this. It's just open, dry fields. That should have burned the Dairyville, and Chico, Oroville, and burned Paradise, all that up. That's how that should burn up the first time, and the second time. The fire is getting down to the brush, or not the brush, but just the grass is not, it is having cut down.
Lexington.
That's what we're underneath. The time lapse.
-249 degrees.
Those turnwings and shit are down here. Except for a couple. The ones in the corner. And the shell. With the smoky and hydro citrons. Dry polish. deposits in it. I'm just free. What's this buffer? Double bar underneath it there. Great boy. I was seeing that color, dude. Or it was like light. The fucking shit was right above it. Hopefully it burnt around us and down. Let me struggle off.
Five minutes ago, mandatory evacuations have been expanded in Injoi County. Yuba County. Mandatory evacuations have been expanded in Yuba County. The map is difficult to read, but evacuations begin along the northern Yuba County border from Strawberry Valley to Forbestown and south to Rockerby and Brownsville Challenge all the way over to the upper portion of Boulevard's Reservoir. That was 11 minutes ago. Take routes to the south to move away from the fire zone. Please take this evacuation seriously and begin moving immediately to allow plenty of time to get safely. The U.S. Saturn Fairgrounds in Yuba City is prepared to receive evacuees.
It's gonna burn all the way from there over, like I pointed out to you. It's gonna do that within like an hour or so. The winds up there, they probably got 40 mile an hour or better because the shit's feeding us, so it's gonna burn Yuba Feather School all the way over. Brandy was told it was gonna burn there in the morning. It's gonna get there quicker than that. It's moving faster than they thought.
Do you think Ted is evacuating?
Can't remember the phone number, 695. Let's see if Caleb's awake. That's from Caleb. 695-2631. is your phone number 2631? Is your last 4 digits 2631? And your phone number is your last 4 digits of your phone number 2631. And 695-2631 should be your mom and dad's phone number. Or just parents. There's no news since I called the number, but that's what's coming to my head. That's why I asked this. Those 4 digits aren't your last. And 695-2631.
It's midnight, but I mean, if they're saying the reservoir and whatnot,
Because that'll burn all the people that's going that way.
read what I just put on, what I just pulled up on Facebook. The Facebook app. Huh?
Dave with the backhoe. Where we bought the backhoe from? Let's see how they're doing. You got Carl and them's number?
Blessings, Dave. How you doing? Hi, Dave. Can you hear me?
Can you hear us? Dave? Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Sorry to call you so late.
Yeah, I got you now.
Sorry for calling so late. But
that's all right. We're up.
are you guys able to see?
And they just evacuated them.
Yeah. We were able to get out a couple of hours ago.
What's that?
I said we got out there a couple of hours back.
Are you guys gonna evacuate?
Yeah, the girls have already left.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm watering down all the patios and all that stuff that we can get wet.
Okay. Be safe and drink water. Take some water with you, Dave. Okay.
Yeah. Will do.
Okay.
Okay.
God bless you, brother.
Bye-bye.
They're getting shit wet.
Wanted to ask them
What?
questions, if they can see or if they heard anything or anything of such, honey.
It sounded like the man is just...
I know. I just wanted to ask him, can you see the flames or anything else like that? Is it smoky where he's at? Just to know, like... Just to know.
Sorry.
Is where they're at. Where they're at is...
Right down there.
Where they're at is the only way that Ted and Donna can get out. There's only one way out. For them.
Well, there's still people on Marysville Road. How Jenny went up on Marysville Road.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They had to come down that way, but she's below in Oregon House. Downton's higher. Brother's in the middle. So I was trying to call and see what's going on since no one answered at Ted and Donna's house, which is up higher. And the phone just like rang it, which I've always remembered them having an answering machine and shit. You know what I mean? If they're on the back side of Brownsville, that would mean we'd lose LaPorte, Quincy, Strawberry Valley, Clipper Mills, Forbstown, Brownsville, Dobbins, Oregon House, Frenchtown. There's 5 towns in itself. They'd just be burned off the map. Gone. And then you got Buller's Bar and Grass Valley, North San Juan.
We can still live in our land, right? The land is ours. It's all the people that got all their stuff.
No, babe, that's what you don't understand. And they're doing property takeover right now in fucking Butte County. October 1st. People that don't got the permits and got all their shit. They're putting liens against the people for being on the property. Incorporating their property.
We're not in Butte County. I'm like $500 a day, that bullshit you said. Christina.
People are sick with it, what they're doing. You got Lomarica, Collins Lake, and all that shit to burn out. Fucking Uriah and they might have to evacuate it. Lomarica will burn all the way up across. They ain't done nothing, dude, since the last fire that burnt from Lomarica all the way over to Bangor. If that shit hits Bangor and hits those fields, God forbid that'd burn the Highway 70 and shit, it'd touch fucking District 10. That shit could burn the District 10, man. It'd be funny, burn up the hemp fields and shit, the stupid fucks would be growing. That shit could hit District 10, outskirts of Marysville. Easy. Intensity of that shit. And catch the rice fields on fire. They'd have to do back burns And oh, dude, it's gonna be so toxic here. If they do, if they have to do back burns to make sure that shit don't happen. And take you back to the 90s when they used to burn the rice husk holes. That shit is gonna fucking hurt people hell bad.
Ponderosa Community Center evacuation is now closed, but evacuees can still go to Oregon House.
Imagine that shit burning down to the gold fields. Burning up fucking shit. That shit could touch all the new houses they done built out there by G. If the winds hit right. Yellow Force Base and everything.
Oh yeah, that's just dry. That shit would just be burning insane.
And the Oaks. You get down around Bald Mountain. Where they ain't got no roads. You should take off like fucking tinderbox.
Is this traveling through East Marysville? Does anyone knows if East Marysville is being evacuated?
This should have fucking did by us. It'll do like it did in Chico. Where the idiots weren't paying attention and fucking all of a sudden the fire was in Chico.
People literally 2 minutes ago. Do you think Marysville could possibly be affected?
Yeah.
In what direction can we expect this to travel?
They're about to wipe out fucking 15 little small towns tonight, dude. I'm like, oh, you want to hit us with floods?
It would come from the north and head south.
Yep.
Oregon House say?
No. This is the worst fire ever to hit. It's just burning down the mountain, literally.
How should the people from Bob Valley act upon these right now?
Which is just treetop fire. Instead of fucking from the bottom up, it's going from the top down. Where you're getting those big ass explosions and the timbers that we're seeing falling. Besides the fucking peanut shells and shit.
Listening to my fire scanner and heard them say it is one canyon over from downtown Brownsville right now.
And what's crazy is they just built they'll see how Gold Eagle Market stands. Cause they just built that shit.
Oh my god.
Right? We'll see how it goes. I hope it stands, dude, cause it'll be fucked up.
I mean, what other chance we got? We just leave. We just buy a cargo container and we just leave in a cargo container.
That's what I was trying to. Maybe that's what I was trying to explain to you. So I was cutting on the side of the hillside for it, saying, "Fucking, I'm sorry, but we got to cut the trees out the way, but we're putting one here, right here, like this, and with the thing going underneath the road, so we got a fucking air purifier and so forth in case there's a fire. But at least we got a fire break over it, so there ain't got no trees fall over fucking where our intake and exhaust is." You not understand what I'm talking about? Well, I was saying when the lady told us the price of the steel, and I'm going, shit, that's the price of the fucking wood. I can work with that. And just make the HHO, make our clay pots, clay plates and shit, glass, and fucking sheet the outside of it. Use the steel, put the glass up, fucking make the shit fireproof, and we golden. Sitting like this in our air refurbishing scrubbers, cool, because we're in the earth, you know. Sitting just like this is the fire go over. Just hopefully Casey didn't get burned up. Casey didn't get burned up, that's fucking after we get where we get the car container up there and get the shop moved in. That's what I'm making is a shelter, dude. Because the issue is, them motherfuckers don't send me no text unless we mobbing around or something, which you don't like to do really. Where I'm like, hey, something has me feeling strange. I want to know why the fuck is this shit smoky. We drive around, I ask some questions. They're saying it's over above us and about to be out, but why is it so smoky? If it's out, then why the fuck is it smoky like this? Because this shit has me tripping. Normally I don't trip, but something has me tripping. Like, there's a fire. And y'all should be like on it. But since you and your family are stop or love for talking shit, but since you guys say you're firefighters and all that kind of stuff, shouldn't y'all be like worried? Because I live on the top of Mount Hope, and top of the mountain, I'm seeing more smoke coming on the side of me. And the winds that we having, it's just way smokier than it should be. If it was windy like this, where the fuck is that smoke coming from? And the way that was, because it was above us and the way it was doing it, I didn't get no ashes, dude. The shit that was that tabletop mountain and the other fires was getting ashes like son of a bitch. When the wind would blow towards our direction, I get ashes and shit. This one, nothing. No ashes. We're getting the ashes down here. There we're getting because we're so close to the shit. And it took off so goddamn monstrous. This is all old pitch and everything, dude. And people not fucking keeping up on the forest. There hasn't been a good burn in the last 100 years or so we having it now. Everybody fucking always want to siphon off Caltrans and other things, funds, and forest management money, and do retarded shit. Not pay homeless people or whatnot. Or just allow a homeless person or people to live up there to get fucking permits where you can go and cut down dead trees or harvest dead trees so the forest will stand up. Crack down on the fuckers that are doing the world trade and fucking up live trees and fucking the forest up that way, but other people that are actually going out that can go get the wood and shit instead of waiting for a fucking forest to burn up and then giving them the permit after that. They should give it to them before.
Yeah.
Pay people to clean the shit up, clean the stuff out. You got enough land to do it. Let a person fucking homestead and fucking clean the air up around. Well, they want to call that homesteading. Give you a fucking ticket. Ticket to dummies that pollute and shit. Give them a motherfucking job. Do the Trump thing, what, give a person a rank and pay him for it. Something. Because I swear, every time the other day when I'll be working in the forest and I'm looking at them trees and I'm like, damn, all these old motherfuckers we talk to, can't remember when the last fire was that come through here. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, dude, this, our fucking forest has been on fire before. None of them fools can remember. None of these trees in between these big ass trees got burnt marks on them. So, we do for one. That's why I kept just trying to cut shit down. Cut shit down the process to get out of the way. Cut it in. It won't take that long. We get the water and everything cycling. Shit will bounce back. And we just cut it square. And keep what we're doing. Cut outside perimeter of the thing. Where we wish to have our building and so forth, and just make sure it's just all green around. And keep where treetop fire can get to it. Outer perimeter from the milling site and then the other side. That'd be interesting to see. From the moisture, like the rebuild, because we'll be able to get to some spots that we want before. Hopefully Casey won't get fucked off. You really need that afterwards. Pulling trees and shit like that out the way. But I think with that little cove where we're at, I think, you know, it might have missed us. They're saying what it did, I think it burnt down and jumped the cove and burnt the backside of Fordstown and shit, because they're going to try to force it to keep it from going into Orville. But by doing such, the winds will just fan it. Just have it come in the Wyandotte, Bangor, Rackerby, Lomariga, and just have it come over like a wave. Straight path, Collins Lake, Dobbins, Challenge, Bullitt, Bar, Washington, North San Juan, all that shit in between, Smartsville. It really feeds it, so yeah, that shit'll make it to G's place by the morning. Fuck Challenge. That's what was interesting in the damn water thing, dude.
I know, right?
What do you guys know? Shit, we got a bed in the back of this trailer. Play right here. We got blankets and shit. Find out what's going on. Find out what's going on. They had to been able to save some shit, or direct it. Because they got the water from the ponds from Woodleaf, right there. And little small lakes from Woodleaf that they do water drops for travel to at night. They done done heavy thinning right there. And mass logging on the other side of the mountain. It's just that undergrowth on the backside of the reservoir in that valley where the fire didn't get to year before. If it catches that and burns around, then it would burn up. I can see why they had that butte, because it would be Old Forbstown Road coming up like that. And burn up all that shit right there in the Forbstown. Burn the outskirts of Forbstown Road to Blackwater and come into Ponderosa. Well, I can see why they did up Rackerby, because they're probably come over Ponderosa Hill or down into there. Ponderosa Park. Into that valley, in the Rackerby Hill.
Yeah, we do it.
All that right there. They ain't been no work done in that in a long time. I ain't never seen a fire in there. That's the thing that worried me when the Rackerby fire happened in '96 in the valley before it. And they got it stopped in our valley. That shit tried to take off. Barely stop it from burning up the mountain and getting to the airport. You got the airport right there. Yeah, that's it's crazy. This fire happens, they're gonna make it worse. It's gonna be hard as fuck to build a house, dude. Forbstown Museum. All the fucking old ass pictures and stuff, dude. All the history, yo, that's what's crazy. All the history. They just got burnt up. The mechanisms and so forth, the stamper mills and all the pictures and everything. I wanted to take you to that, man. So you see, I ain't seen that as a sober adult myself. The Forbes Museum is where all those pictures that you see. History Museum. Yeah, you see all the stuff that we see in the restaurants and shit up there. That showed how the miners live. And different things that they have. People at the Forbes stores, alright? They had a hard year. With the power outages and now this. I hope they had insurance. Things just ain't gonna be the same on here. Interesting year. Holy shit. I didn't realize it. I ain't been watching fucking retard. But they finally got the health aid going. It's in Austria. Mr. Keshe supposedly shows the shit in 344th Keshe Talk. Instead of just showing you pictures of shit like this, just the CG. Is a computer rendition of them fucking happening and shit. Fucking goofballs.
That's what we drive from the gas station home.
Mm-hmm.
The cemetery. We just issued that 2 minutes ago.
Will last as the company conducts a safety review. The foreign ministers of the ASEAN bloc are set to release a joint statement aimed at tempering South China Sea tensions. In a draft obtained by Japanese broadcaster NHK, member states expressed their concerns over eroding trust in the area brought on by land reclamations, activities, and serious incidents. And that is the very latest from the CNA newsroom.
So uncut and all that.
Palermo, Easter Robles, uncut. Pretty much all the below, south over the copper band board. Really close to the river. Out there, just literally out to the rice field.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the rice fields are green,
Mm-hmm.
and then it says Ramirez, which is like 5-minute drive. It's like we drive, we stop,
You're gonna see the flames. Yeah. It'll burn right there and might even hit the fucking silos and shit. They'll have to set them fields on fire to keep. That's gonna be interesting. Ramirez roses where you're bold.
Challenge Brownsville is not.
It's like burning down.
Yeah, it's like this. But then, no, it's like that. In yellow, it's new. How do you see that?
It gets down to the valley to that fucking brush and shit. And then plains. And get to Chico. And burn shit, this shit could get to Yuba City and all that. Calusa. That's it, District 10. And burn through the orchard. Rice fields and shit. Snow amongst all this. Come on, people.
Snow?
Imagine if we're in Colorado and they got the snow on us.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. They were like, are you sure? People wake up.
AstraZeneca says a patient has potentially unexplained illness which will need further investigation. The pharmaceutical giant is working with Oxford University to develop the vaccine. Late-stage testing got underway last week. Thousands are taking part in the trial in the UK, US, Brazil, and South Africa. It's hoped 3 billion doses can be distributed globally. Julie Fisher is from Georgetown Medical University. She explains what this means for the future of the trial.
At this point, a group of external experts will be consulted, and it's a normal part of the process. They'll be called in to see if any adverse events that were reported and were serious are likely to be due to the vaccine or to be unrelated, and their advice will help decide whether or not the vaccine trial continues. We are all familiar with mild adverse events that can happen after vaccination, like fever or pain at the site of the injection. To put a pause, it has to the event would be serious, something that was perhaps related to the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, another system in the body that was really that required medical attention, and that was found to be serious enough to merit pausing this very important effort to test this vaccine in order to make sure that the vaccine is safe and that the adverse events were not due to the vaccine itself. There is a set of expectations to test the safety of any vaccine that will be given to people, and that is that it will be tested in a small group of volunteers to make sure that it is safe and has a reasonable chance of being effective before even going into larger groups of volunteers, much less the public. Without that kind of testing, we just don't know for sure if the vaccine will protect people from infection. I think we would like to see one as quickly as possible, all of us, but I think it's reasonable to assume that it would be at the very earliest the end of 2020 and more likely 2021.
Well, AstraZeneca is one of 9 drug companies that have pledged not to rush approval for vaccines until they're proved to be safe. The joint statement from the company's CEOs comes as U.S. President Donald Trump continues to suggest that a vaccine could be out as early November, just before Election Day. In the United States, the police chief of Rochester in the state of New York has stepped down along with his senior staff. This follows days of public outrage over the city's handling of Daniel Prude's death by suffocation. Now, some viewers may find the footage disturbing in Mike Hanna's reports. Protests underway for the 7th consecutive day in New York State's 3rd largest city. They began last Wednesday following the release of the body cam footage of Daniel Prude's arrest by police. Police say Prude told them he had coronavirus and started spitting. At that stage, they put what is called a spit bag over his head. Prude died a week later, and the medical examiner ruled his death a homicide. Now, amidst the ongoing protests, the Rochester police chief has resigned, claiming in a written statement that there had been what he called a mischaracterization and politicization of his actions following Daniel Prude's death. The early retirement confirmed by the city's mayor.
While the timing and tenor of these resignations is difficult, we have faced tough times before. I truly believe that we will get through this. I will be meeting with City Council to chart a path forward. I can assure this community that I am committed to instituting the reforms necessary in our police department. I know that there are many questions, but this just occurred, and honestly, I do not have the answers today.
This is just the latest wave of protests following police action against African American individuals. There were nationwide demonstrations following the killing of George Floyd in May this year. The 46-year-old died after a white police officer knelt on his neck for more than 7 minutes. Then a fresh round of protests following the shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin on the 23rd of last month. The 29-year-old African American was shot in the back several times during arrest in full view of his children sitting in his car. Blake is paralyzed from the waist down. The U.S. Attorney General recently denied there was systematic racism within the police, making the claim that, in his words, it is very rare for an unarmed African American to be shot by a white police officer. The millions that throughout much of this year have protested the police killings of African Americans would disagree, pointing at the death of Daniel Prude in Rochester as yet another tragic confirmation of independent statistics that black Americans are as much as 10 times more likely to be shot by police than white ones. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington. Still ahead on Al Jazeera, evacuations continue in the U.S. state of California as multiple fires burn out of control.
Hello, autumn is still streaming across northern Europe. It seems to have been doing that for weeks now. It's weather coming in from the Atlantic, it's fairly strong winds, periods of wind and rain. Scandinavia being currently the recipient. So
it was stating that it would get there. See, I'm looking at your link. Do you hear the news? Don't be sorry. I'm just looking at the link that you sent me. It's taking a minute to upload.
place in Moria. People have been living in completely inhumane circumstances for the last 5 years, have absolutely no perspective, and this level of stress has been augmented tremendously in the last 6 months with very strict movement restrictions related to COVID-19. And then, of course, the additional stress when last week a first case of COVID was identified in the camp, and the camp was put under mass quarantine. So
Scalarized weather.
30 degrees. Forecasters blame the cold snap on a powerful surge of cold air from Canada, which was accompanied by damaging winds. The high winds in California threaten to worsen the largest wildfires ever seen in the U.S. state. Hundreds of stranded people have been airlifted to safety over the past 14 days. Firefighters suffered burns and smoke inhalation when they were surrounded by flames. Victoria Gatenby has the story.
Fueled by record temperatures, strong winds and dry conditions, wildfires are once again sweeping across America's most populous state. The fire season is only just beginning here, but already California has set a record, with more than 9,000 square kilometers burned so far, and there's at least 2 more months of this to come.
We are experiencing unprecedented confluence of issues this year that we did not experience last year. Unprecedented record temperatures, a heat dome that impacted the entire west coast of the United States, not just a few states on the west coast. We are dealing with the reality of some 14,000 lightning strikes over a 72-hour period. Trust me, that did not occur last year. That had previously occurred in the late 1980s.
In Fresno County, dozens of people were airlifted to safety after becoming stranded by wildfires burning through the Sierra National Forest. That's after more than 200 people were rescued over the weekend.
So far, the creek incident has burned 143,929 acres. The containment remains at 0%, and we should have over 1,000 firefighters working on the incident right now, with more en route and more resources being ordered to come help out with this incident, with just over 5,000 structures still threatened right now.
The impact stretches far beyond evacuation zones, with California's Pacific Gas and Electric Utility Company cutting power to more than 170,000 homes and businesses to minimize the risk of power lines sparking additional fires. And it promises to be a tough week for thousands of firefighters. The rough terrain, high winds and low humidity all hampering their efforts to stop the flames spreading. Victoria Gatenby, Al Jazeera.
Jennifer Bjorklund is in Azusa in Southern California now with the very latest.
Some people in the northern part of the state had just minutes to get out of their homes when the fire came racing towards them. And in fact, we've heard that some firefighters were overcome in their own fire station in the middle part of the state by a lake in the forest. They had to deploy their emergency fire shelters, 15 of them. 2 are injured quite seriously, 1 critically with burns, but everybody got out alive. That is an example of how quickly this fire moves when it can actually burn a fire station in a national forest. We can tell you that the Santa Ana winds were expected to pick up today. They have not materialized yet in the hills above this area south of Los Angeles near the Santa Anita racetrack. We are very concerned by the dense and old growth brush and trees in the foothills that haven't burned since 1954. And what's happening below is everybody is packed and ready to go just in case. They've issued warnings that could happen. Those evacuation orders could materialize this afternoon or even overnight. So no one will be sleeping well tonight. And the record temperatures over the weekend, the good news, have fallen. However, there is still that forecast of wind. The good news, again, though, is that the humidity has come up in Southern California with some marine influence and some fog rolling in this morning that has stayed with us and kept the Santa Ana winds at bay, at least for now.
The very latest on all those fires and the news on our website at aljazeera.com.
Scalarized weather, kids. Look at this. This is what blew through down from Canada. Highway shutdown. That's crazy.
Somebody posted this in order. It came down like this.
7-Eleven on Lincoln. That's crazy.
What is 7-Eleven on Lincoln?
You drive past it. They're doing evacuations now.
Well, because Jean said, did you hear anything about a fire on Marysville Road? And I said no, but that would be crazy because then all the people in Browns Valley, she's like, I heard something but I had to leave.
Making spot fires. Already. Only a couple hours. I'm gonna reach the outskirts of town. That's nuts. You got all the way down to Uncut now. You could easily make it down to burn up Live Oak, Gridley, Briggs, Dairyville, all that stuff I was talking about. Burn across Damn Valley, burn to the beach, burn to Calusa, Meridian, Dogwood. That shit could burn up the whole valley. All the way to Red Bluff. Man, that's insane. It burned in Lassen. Last time I had a fire that burnt from here to Lassen was 2008. That's when Paradise burnt the first time. They had a crazy ass thunderstorm. Man, that shit, get in that. Go right there. And others. It's over.
That's too crazy. They don't have the manpower. It's like they got 24 dozers, 1,100 people, 40 helicopters. And that shit's burning from Nevada to Oregon.
It's going straight towards the base. You can see where the Scalarized tropics, where the virtual antenna. There's pave paws right there.
Let's see if they stop.
It's smacking.
Before they catch the antennas on fire.
Where the wind gap is. That's what's crazy.
Let me find out about Frenchtown Road, because Jean said that. Rica.
And things dropping embers.
Oh, holy cow. Alert, new surf fire. Yuba County Sheriff Department have issued a mandatory evacuation order for Loma Rica, beginning at the original start. Where was the Cascade Fire? Just north where Marysville Road becomes Willow Glen Road.
That's right in between. I'll go with Ace Hardware.
Where Jeannie was saying.
It's that mountaintop right there. And that where you drop into Brownsville from. That whole little switchback little area.
Somebody says my mom left approximately 30 minutes ago from New York House Road, Brownsville. As of then, no fire there yet. However, she was unable to head straight to Marysville due to the fire jumping the highway. Oh, so down on the road. So not up there, but down the road. Jumping the highway, so there are redirecting traffic somehow. Hope this helps some. And then from what I'm seeing in the map, and they updated it, the map that you just saw, it's like it's staying this way. Like barely fucking
like
going on the reservoir and whatnot, and just like staying right there.
I explained to you, it's gonna burn down the hillside.
Yeah.
And try to get into the grass, since it's making its own wind. Like they're trying to figure out how is it burning uphill and not going downhill, because there's parts of it that's burning downhill and the other part that's burning uphill. It's making its own heat vacuum.
But somebody posted, is Brownsville on fire now? I live in the Port Road, just north of Hummingbird Way. Already evacuated. Robbie Hadley. And this
Sure.
This person is the one that said, my mom just left Brownsville and there wasn't fire there yet. And it was a minute ago.
Hummingbird Lane is where Nana Estridge, the Estridge family lives on the corner. Hummingbird Lane's right across the corner from Pine Street Eatery, or the Jim and Bob's place right on the corner.
Yeah, I know Hummingbird Lane.
Dwayne and all those Galloways are already gone. Jamie's dad's alright. Able to get out. I finally got an emergency note. 2:41 a.m. That's crazy. And it's all in the area that I was stating. That thing's gonna make it to town. Maybe even cross the valley. If not, burn the Sacramento, El Dorado Hills, and the Tahoe. You can feel the plasma, tropics, scalarization, and so forth, from Bill and all the other stuff they're using in Russia, China, Iran, and the Keshe groups. That's just outside. There we go. That would be where Cherokee Road is. The other fire crew that come down. Where I was sensing the fire, that's where Feather Falls Road and all that is.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on with the video. I know it's me. There we go.
Those are lines. Godspeed, brothers.
Somebody grab some photographs up here.
That's how then those crazy pictures go up. Has he got a laser or something?
Shot right there for you. I'll be back.
Those are truck drivers.
We got HD for seats. Mixing the popcorn.
Fires by the Jumper Road. And dozers, Godspeed, be safe, gentlemen.
Everyone be safe. Yeah, we can see it, dude. Get out. Look at that. That just got crazy. Dude,
Wow.
that's super fucking close.
It's about to overtake him. Ethan Diesel, y'all get out of there.
How do you fight something like that?
Get her, man.
Them all acting so calm.
You can get them in on the dozers out there. Get up and hop on them trucks. They're about to get flanked. That's the way the wind's acting. If it was just rushing up on them and now it's blowing that way. Otherwise it would just overtook them. Now it's coming back this way.
It's doing like a... That's why he's able to stay.
Alright, we're out of here.
And now it's coming back on them. Look at that.
Tracy Carpenter is there at the entrance requesting an officer to come down with some caution tape to cordon off a particular area. Wow.
Cherokee.
Holy crap. Sorry to leave you. Look at that.
Power line. Look at that. It's right next to them.
Yeah, got the fire trucks flying. Yeah, diesel's pulling out there. So the way it is, like they got the cat on it. That thing's just feeding us, so.
Dozer driver says, I'm out of here. So that's where I was parked, right down there.
No, on fire. Look like a police car or something right there. I hear the dozer.
Rose Park.
I hear the dozer. That thumping sound of the caterpillar on the asphalt. There it is.
That is incredible.
I'm using that big ass dozer. Where's the truck at for that man? That man just got there right there. Dude jump out the truck? Or off the caterpillar? Nope, he's still grazing. That's crazy.
What if that dozer can get away?
That's crazy, dude.
What's going on, man? Good. Try don't get too far from the
Watch out, man. This shit's gonna flare up on you. That underbrush. That sound has a most particular sound to it. That's all that volatile organic compound. I was saying that stupid to people planting up oilanders and stuff. And them riggers.
It's raining embers. We're getting the hell out of here. Yeah, it's gonna spot fire right there.
That's why this is gonna burn across Sacramento Valley. This feeding it, so there ain't no way they can stop it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like in Beckwith days.
Embers everywhere up here. They're 100% gonna be spot fires.
That's how I was doing on the property.
One just landed on me.
I was thinking this shit was snow.
On fire.
That
What
does.
do? They load the dozer and they're like, let's get the fuck out.
Yeah, they did what they could.
Burning embers on my truck.
The dozer line's been compromised.
We're okay. Man, I wish you could see the view in my rearview mirror. Holy cow. Woo! Okay, so I'm going to reset my odometer, and I will let you know when I get back to that road. Excuse me. Oh my God. Oh, you gotta see this. Hopefully you can see it. Oh, it died out just as I got out. So that's that. That's it.
I think it's him.
So, back to telling you exactly where I was.
Morning.
Yeah, going back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking my Gatorade. Okay, coming up on the Loafer Creek turn. Off. So, where I tell you when I pass. Turn off here. Currently traveling southwest. Heading back to Oroville. Is almost exactly 1 mile to
come on, phone. Sure. Hmm? So with that big old space right there, that has to be this one. He's saying he's going southwest.
That's 1 mile right there. Okay. Nice to take it. So this will. Yeah, my phone is on a magnet mount when I. Yeah, so this is my live broadcast, probably for this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Crap, why? You guys okay? And I said, we're okay. To get me Kayla talk to her grandparents. And he said that they think that they're Michelle's, that's why they didn't answer.
And Eric would have to leave too.
Oh yeah, Dobbins is evacuated now. This morning.
Show me that thing. That's what I was saying last night. That shit had burned all the way to Dobbins in a board spar. The spot fire thing that you just showed me. So you got a spot fire in Bangor. It's going towards Dobbins, North San Juan. All the stuff I was saying earlier, but you see the red zone? We're right here at the top of Mount Hope. Top of Hope right there. That shit misses. Red zones and all that from them doing the heavy forestry, from them complaining about it. We got I was making a new batch of silver programmed. And that shit came about, you know. And switch it over to this. Stop it. I feel they're picking up on our frequencies and inducing it along with pave pause. We gotta change up our orientation and asymmetrical vibrational means. You have to change it. The inductive force I'm feeling, I literally just got fucked up. I don't know if it's split or shit right now. Coughing out the first bit of lung butters from last night. I don't ever sleep in this late, dude. It's crazy. Dobbins is under evacuation, all them places, all the shit that I was saying last night. Worst case scenario being shown to me. Not even worst case. Just the first case that, hey, y'all better wake the fuck up. Geoengineering, geostorm. You get snow smacked, you get snow, you get snow, you get non-snow, you get hail balls. We look like China, folks, except we're not on underwater, we're on fire. Wishing we had water when we're doing that to them. And what's worse during the lung disease? Flooding a person out where you got to come together, mosquitoes and all that, or fire where you can't breathe. Influenza, and people have to run around and things. This shit is fucking disgusting, people. We're humans. We gotta stop doing this to each other. It's disgusting, people. Stop this shit. Can't go over there now because of fucking this and that. Can't go over there because we're gonna get this heat wave. No, dude. You guys are fucking weaponized fucking shit. cold front that magically came down from Canada on fucking Sunday. This is the fucking straw on the camel's back, people. Come on. You can't go from fucking 105 degrees down to fucking 25 degrees and get a snow blizzard. On natural fucking shit. On natural shit. Unnatural, negentropic, entropy king done in Dan Winter's plasma tech and other shit like that, used by the Keshe Foundation and Keshe lemmings. You can do it all day. All day. It's crazy. Wake up, people. Stock 257, man, says what he's doing right now. And they just been ramping it up, man. They just been ramping it up.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Lovely, lovely.
277.
This guy in several tucks.